And we are live. Hopefully you guys can hear me this time. Bit of an elephant in the room that I've been a bit reluctant to address, like I'm not going to be streaming super long, but not on like 7:30, 45-ish, but this time it's for a different reason. Namely, I've got this steak that I've been salting since last night, and well, oh hey, it's been... I genuinely do not know how long it's been since you showed up. But how have you been doing? Bit unfortunate since, well, timing-wise, you chose arguably the worst moment and for me to, like, do that. because I'm making another video. Because, well, I am making another video on Akuma Miko, like... I'm not saying that your story isn't interesting, but the problem more is, well, just more people have been asking me to make a video on Akuma Miko that's more comprehensive. So it's not so much I don't think your story is interesting, it's more you just chose bad timing. Also, I'm not really sure what I talk about again, since, well... How do I disable motion controls? Something feels a bit odd. Well, I'm glad I solved that problem, but now I've... got a different problem. Okay, I think I know what my problem is. Like, I decided to do some grinding in Battle Network 6, in Mega Man Battle Network off stream, and well... if you were watching the previous stream, which I will admit, now that I think about it, most people probably aren't aware of, because, well, of the sound issues I've been having. Yeah, I'm not sure what the deal is with that. Okay, I think I might know the problem with... Yeah. It's alright. I do think I know the problem with... that I'm having right now. Like, as I mentioned, like... because I decided to do some... grinding off level with Battle Network 3. I mean, grind for cash, well, I was holding the Switch H1 controller, or the wired Switch 1 controller. Like, I really should figure out how to get wireless controllers set up on my PC again, since it would make things easier. It's not like I have some, like, self-imposed restriction. Don't mind me just trying to... I do not watch Tyler Oliveira's video. It was like, there's this YouTuber called Vince Vintage who actually put out a video basically exposing how Tyler is, like, really questionable, to say the least. And well, the thing is, Tyler's response to Vince's video, which actually showed some really damning stuff, was to downplay things, and he did admit to, like, one or two things, but look, I don't care how good the journalism is. The problem is that his past makes things... is that his past statements makes it impossible for me to, like, take anything he does looking forward seriously. Like, it's always going to be tainted by his past. You know, on the topic of India, you want to know what I found myself of thinking back to that I'd argue has not aged well at all? Like, remember that whole PewDiePie versus T-Series feud? I'd argue that it was kind of like a bad idea to pit PewDiePie against T-Series for one simple reason. Like, I get the reason why people wanted to do so initially, like corporate YouTube versus is like individuals, but well. And before you ask, it's not PewDiePie, because it was PewDiePie specifically. Like, this would have happened, I would still think this way if it had been Markiplier or Critical, or that had been, like, the most subscribed YouTuber. Honestly, I'm kind of, considering, like, Markiplier hasn't really gotten in any controversy, I'm kind of surprised PewDiePie. Markiplier hasn't, like, didn't at least temporarily dethrone PewDiePie or something. But the reason is, well, I'd say that T-Series is more comparable to something like Vivo. Or like a network. And also, India is a really big country. Like, I'm pretty sure there are more people in... I'm pretty sure that, like, the majority of... that, like, India has one of the biggest user bases in... I guess it would depend on the part of India, like, and also, like, the circumstance. Like, if it was, like, to one of, like, the big cities and I was seeing some of, like, the big monuments, sure, why not? But I'm not gonna, like, go out and, like, in the areas that are more isolated from society. It would also really, like, depend on the time of year, like... Like, if I was going there... Like, like, by the time... Okay, let me start over since I lost my train of thought. If it was, like, a time where it wasn't, like, too crowded by tourists, and also, like, I was, like, seeing, like... I was going to, like, Delhi, and also, like, I had a guide or two, then I would be up for, like, going, sure. But, like, I'm not... But, like, I'm not gonna do it in, like the busiest time of year. And honestly, if I was gonna travel right now, I'd probably go with it to somewhere that was, like, not somewhere else in the United States. Like, honestly, like, most of the places I can think of are, like, typical tourist destinations, like New York, LA. Honestly, the thing that stops me is, well, I actually haven't really heard anything about that. Like, I don't know if it's, like, something where, like, where it's kind of, like, taboo for foreigners to participate. I mean, it would probably be a safer bet for me to go to that than something like, say, the running of the bulls in Spain. Like, there, if you, or I would go, or like, if you had, and although then again, I probably wouldn't be going to Spain during that time of the year either. So, not really like a choice I'd want to make. Like, okay, let me rephrase that. I would be okay with going to Spain during the running of the bulls to, like, watch, but I would not actually, like, participate. Like, in general, like, an activity where I have a serious chance of, like, receiving bodily harm are stuff that I avoid. Whereas with the festival in India, all I'd really need to, as long as I like didn't go without bathing for a significant amount of time, I could probably handle it. So I'd say like I wouldn't go out of my way. But if I was in the area when I experienced it, I guess as I wouldn't be opposed to the idea. That is true, like... that's true you can say about a lot of stuff. Like, I'd say that about the running of the bulls. Now I'm wondering if there's any festivals where that's the inverse. Where, like, it's generally agreed that it's really boring to watch, but really fun to be in. Oh, really? Huh. Got quite a few people. In general, sure, although, much like with it, although it would really depend on the cave, like, I have been into, like, like, I forget the name of it, like, it was this really, it was like this cave you could go on tours in Pennsylvania, like, I don't remember the name only because, like, I was, like, in middle school when it happened. I think I know the reason why Twitch isn't keeping up with the stream. I've only got Twitch set up. Alright, but you know what? If I like hear about the match, maybe I'll like stream it, even do commentary or something. Well, he's gonna have to wait a little since, well, I don't think I have donations set up. It's not because of, like, moral reasons, it's actually I just don't know what I need to do, but I will figure that out one day, since, honestly, even if it was just us to, like, pay for new assets, I would like to be able to make something out of these streams. Actually kind of curious about now. What was, like, the first sponsorship on YouTube? Like... But anyways, I think the reason why why the chat widget is not keeping up with the multi-chat is, well, I am 99% sure... Yeah, fair enough. I do remember seeing a few posts like that, but, like, honestly, I'm actually kind of clueless about the FGC, so that's actually the main reason, the biggest hurdle to me making a video, aside from poor timing. Like, I would not be... Let's see here. You could probably say, like, honestly, most VPN companies would be, like, safe bets. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna look up how you swim in this game. Okay, it turns out that there's actually a reason why I haven't figured out how to swim. Namely, there aren't really swimming controls in the game. You know, like NordVPN, Surfshark. I guess maybe also Ground News would be a company that I'd be okay being sponsored by. Honestly, like, while I don't have any examples that come to mind, I'd want a sponsorship where people will like, talk about this, the fact that I somehow got them as a sponsor at all. Like, the only real caveats I have for, like, accepting sponsorship are, one, that it's not an obvious scam, so no established titles. Those, for example. And if it's one that, like, I've seen at least a few other people do sponsorship reads for, you have to let me do a different read. Like, I'm sure literally everyone knows you can use Netflix to unlock... You can use a VPN to unlock shows on Netflix. Like, let me tell people about other reasons why they might want to use a VPN. Like, it would not be like a... deal breaker, but it would be something, or I'd be like, if you really want, it would be really nice if you'd let me. That's fair enough. As I was saying, I think the problem with is that I need to find a way to get both Twitch and YouTube in my I chat, which, you know what? It's more like I don't have them set up yet, and also, honestly, I kind of would prefer it if, like, I waited until live 2D, until I got, like, a live 2D model to get that set up. Where was I talking about with, like, India earlier? Oh, yeah, like, the PewDiePie versus T-Series thing. Aside, the main reason I think that hasn't aged as well, as I mentioned, like, T-Series, I'd say, is more comparable to something like Vivo than PewDiePie. Like, if it would have been better if it had been, like, T-Series' most popular artist that PewDiePie was trying to beat. But another thing I'd argue has not aged well about that feud is, well, the diss track PewDiePie did, because the lyrics don't really talk about T-Series that much. Like, they're more stereotypes about Indians. Like, I don't know if PewDiePie was as trying to be, like, racist, or if he was just being lazy and he used stereotypes about India, because, well, there wasn't anything where I felt that I would at least even say was like a stereotypical diss that could be aimed at a record company. Like, for example, well, nothing about them having, like, shady contracts. Or, like, the fact that no one outside their home country knows who they are. Like, you want to know the funny thing? I'd actually argue that if it had been PewDiePie versus his current Mr. Beast, it would be come across a lot better. Like, I'd say Mr. Beast is probably, like, one of the more corporate YouTubers, and unlike with the T-Series, he's an individual creator, so like, there's one other reason aside from, like the fact that I don't really feel T-Series is, like, a YouTuber in the same sense that I would say, like, PewDiePie is. Mainly because, well, as I mentioned, they were more, like, a representative for multiple artists. Like, India's was only going to The only way PewDiePie could have actually beaten T-Series would have actually been if he'd, like, started appealing more to Indians. Because if you don't know, India actually... He only recently got, like, affordable internet. Like, there's this story by Doug Sharp, who was talking about, like, how a billionaire's daughter was complaining about the quality of internet service, and because it wasn't like it wasn't his service, he actually listened to her and realized, you know, she's right, and realized, you know what, there's a market for this. So he made like a cheap wireless company which provided the internet to like a lot of Indians. So as a result, unless PewDiePie had actually like started like paying people to go into like various densely populated areas in India and like tell him who he was, which I actually am kind of surprised he didn't do, since that wouldn't have been, I don't think that would have been that outrageous compared to some of the other controversies he got involved in. He was always going to lose. I'm not saying I don't understand why people were, like, rooting for him. Like, I at least understood the appeal. It's more like I didn't really think... It wasn't, like, something that I could see him, like, accomplishing. Like, I was more just viewing it very cynically. Admittedly, I am partially, at least partially saying this is with hindsight, since, well... he did wind up losing, but still. I'm hoping that means I have to go below and not into the oil, because I'm going to be very annoyed if I have to, like, die at least a few times. I'll go in here, then I'll go flip the banana switches. Or press them, I guess, is the more appropriate term. Like, I could have sworn I put that one... So I know that I did, like, say, put Hi-Fi Rush as an option for that poll. Poll as to what I'd replace Ace, well, Mega Man Battle Network with, since I highly doubt I'm gonna finish. I'm like pretty sure that I'll finish Battle Network before, or Network with like a brief period between Metroid. I'm pretty sure that by the time that I will not finish Battle Network like just in time to play. Time to switch over to Metroid Prime 4. I still need to pre-order that now that I think about it. But anyways, is like the reason I'm starting to reconsider that as well. Apparently, there's like some. I remember one of my favorite channels, Many a True Nerd, saying they couldn't play it because it like hurt their eyes or something. I forget the exact details, but like, I'd probably want to do like a test run off. Or something. Not trying to, like, back out. I'm just saying, like, I might end up having to, like, opt against that poll result. Although I will admit there is another reason. Like, I have found myself wanting to do, like, a modded series for Stardew Valley. Then again, now that I think about it, I should probably at least, like, familiarize myself with, like, all the new stuff that has been added since I last played, which was, like, at least 2 or 3 years ago. Like, I have completed the community center, but I haven't, like, gone to that, like, island, for example. So you know what I think I'm actually going to do? Like, download the game on my phone, play that off stream, and then beat it there. Like, sure, or beating something on my phone is not the same thing as beating on Steam, but like, Good thing they don't require me to beat this within a certain number of laps. Oh, come on, I beat on, like... That should have at least counted as, like a mutual kill. Okay, that's... You know, I think that I might be better off beating that particular fight off stream, so... Only other place I can really think. Okay, so going down there is not an option. pretty sure it was 5 points, so not 3. So even if I what do we got over here? Salt and bananas does not sound like a particularly appetizing combination. I mean, I think you use salt to make banana bread, so if it, but like on their own, I mean. I'm doing better, like, at least this time, like, when I died. It was be. Huh, and here I was thinking Donkey Kong just wore a clip-on tie. Oh well. It might help if there was like one of those melons. Things that like regenerated. Alright, so what I'm going to do is hit the one that I think is underground. End the stream, and then I will come, and then next time I play this, I will hopefully have taken care of all the other burger switches. Could just be either today is a bit of an off day for me with this game. Honestly, I would not be opposed to streaming this game again, but it would not be for a while, since I don't like... I was right, there was something here. And unfortunately, that's something is stuff I did off stream. You know what? Let's look up. I hate it when a web page isn't fully reload. Okay, you know what? I've decided that I think that I'm actually just going to get all the switches off stream since, well, honestly, something just feels off about how playing it right now. Like, it might just be that I might need to, like, wait until, like, I've had a break from the Switch 2 controller. I mean, the Switch 1 controller that I was playing Battle Network 1 with, but I kind of feel like something threw me off. But anyways, I'm going to call it a stream here. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Endros Rebel, and I'll see you on my next assignment. Later.